All right, good evening. First, we have the call to order. We have the welcome with Ryan Wilkins, Principal of HSES.
Okay. Some things going on at Hartford Summer Elementary School. At the end of October, we concluded our NWEA testing for grades K through 6. Our scores came back much as they always do. We were a little stronger in reading than we are in math, but compared to benchmark and to growth, looks like we're in a good spot. We should start measuring their gains, the students' gains. Last week we had a book fair, and our library ed tech, Jenna Lallman, is always surprised at the amount of sales that we do for the week, and this past book sale was no different. Last Monday, we hosted a kinder concert where we hosted the Portland Symphony Quintet, who presented Strings at Sea to our students, and we also hosted Morovia Elementary and Rumford Elementary for that event as well, as we have done in the past. On Wednesday and Thursday last week, we had a reflective practice days where our teachers had lots of great conversation about teaching and learning. And Matt was able to join us for day one, and we thank him for being able to come down and do that. On Thursday, we hosted the Northern Stars Planetarium. They come in and they set up a fully equipped inflatable star theater. They have a man named John Meter, who's a facilitator. He has over 40 years of teaching experience. And John was able to touch upon some of the standards in science, both grades 3 and grade 5 who were able to attend in a much different type of classroom setting. Last Friday, we had a safety drill that was focused on lockdown procedures, led by Officer Turner and Liz Coombe. Liz, for those of you who don't know, is an ed tech in our building, who's on the district crisis response team, is well respected by our staff. She did an LAW a couple of weeks prior to the drill to alleviate the fears of some of our new teachers who hadn't had any training, and some of our old teachers who still wanted to make sure they were doing the right thing. And as you might imagine, it's always a little bit eerie when you got 320 people in the building and you can't hear any of them. It's an interesting thing to experience if you haven't done so. So that's it.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, item 2, adjustments to the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move to 3, consideration of the minutes. Approve the minutes of the October 27th meeting of the Western Foothills Regional School Unit 10 School Board meeting minutes as written. Motion made by Peter, seconded by Dan. All right, did anybody notice any errors, omissions? All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Bonnie, are you online too? She's not. Good. And that was Darcy. Yep. Okay. And one abstention. Me. I abstained. I was not here. Yep. All right. 4, public comments, questions. This is the time for the public to comment in person at school board meetings. Was there anybody that signed up? Okay. Right. Very good. We'll move to communications correspondence. Student board rep. Is Chloe on? He's not. Okay. And is Troy? Oh, we don't know if we have one for Buckfield yet. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, Deb, you said you had something.
Yes, I do. I received a letter this afternoon. That's why it wasn't in anyone's packets. And this is a letter from the town of Sumner asking for, here's copies if people want them. Asking to formally request the existing school zone signs to be replaced with lighted signs, equipped properly functioning warning lights. I think that's what we've talked about wanting before. Yep. Okay. Oh, I thought I said.
Yeah, I passed it down.
Oh. Right. Let me just look at it so I can talk. Okay. So, that they want, because of the general public traveling in the area, just exactly what we've said before, and it's what we want. respectfully, the town requests that we give this a priority to put them up. These are lighted signs that the Department of Transportation purchases and places in different, at school zones. And we've talked to them about it. We're on the list to get it in 2026. I'm trying to find out through Tim Susi, who is the person, he's out of the Dixfield DOT office. Like, what does that mean? When in 2006? 2006 is a 12-month year. So when does that mean? I don't believe school systems purchase these themselves. This would be something that the DOT has. They do a certain amount each year. We've put in for both Buckfield High School and in
Office. The 15th Saturday, this is one to call out, open house tour, Mountain Valley Community School from 9 to 12. Open to the public. Be a good chance to get out and see the new building. Then on the 19th, we have committee meetings for curriculum, personnel, and policy. We have some other things on here, but I did want to make sure I call out the 24th. There's our financial workshop at the Mountain Valley High School Library at 6. So the other ones are on there. If anybody has any questions on those, reach out. We'll move on to committee reports, starting with Personnel Committee.
that is Bonnie, and it is November 19th.
And any update on policy?
We are, hello. We're meeting on the 19th.
Okay. And finance, same. 17th. Okay. Building and grounds, do we have an update?
17th.
17th. And negotiations, we met briefly
We met
today.
tonight, and we do administrative negotiations on December 4th at 5.
And we still are looking for negotiators if anybody's interested. So, Region 9.
Yeah, Region 9,
Turn it on, Peter.
okay. Region 9, the meeting was canceled. They had nothing on it. So we meet,
Okay. Region 11, no updates since our last board meeting, but we do have a meeting this Thursday, Oxford. Curriculum Committee.
We are also meeting on the 19th.
Okay. And we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Okay, so one of the things at our school board meeting, our school board workshop we had was to do a survey on meetings, and that survey went out. I think we had nearly everybody answered it, and we have it in, the results are in the packet, and we have it on the agenda to talk about. Playground equipment has arrived. The company is looking at the beginning of December for installation, so hope for the ground to still be okay to do it. We've had a few hiccups with the installation of phone and internet lines and services, but Brian and Mike have been right on it, and we're moving ahead. They've been installing Promethean boards, assigning phone numbers to rooms. You really wouldn't believe all those different things you have to do. Brian was telling me he's got to make how many? 228 fire exit maps for each room. So anyways, it's coming along, and they're right. Landry French is hosting an open house tours on this Saturday, the 15th, from 9 to 12. So anybody that's interested in going on tours of the building, I suspect they're going to have a lot of folks there.
Yeah.
So Hartford Sumner, we've been able to put, I think, Devin, we call called it kind of a Band-Aid, but they were able to get the tank, the septic system fully functioning while we need to move forward with the work, but while we get quotes for a replacement tank. It needs to be replaced, but we're working on that so we can move forward on that. I also, I wanted to say in the new building, I toured with, it's called Essential Learning Solutions, and they have done some consulting with us. They have BCBA's, behavior consultants that consult with us on some of our kiddos, especially the little ones, because they have a program for 3 and 4-year-olds. And I took them on a tour, and they are interested in using we have 5 pre-K classrooms. We'll need 2 of them for the remainder of this year, and then next year we'll need 4 of them. And they're interested in using 1 of them and creating a program for some of our youngest kiddos that really need something different. So that was really exciting. They were like, oh yeah, we could do a lot in this space, in this one room. So keep that in your heads, and we may be talking about leasing space or whatever. And then I toured a couple folks from Region 9 toward the early childhood ed portion, so they can see when they would move into it, whether they'd move in before the school year is up or whether they would wait until next school year, but they got a better sense of the space and where it is and how it relates to the outside of the building and everything. So that was really good. Let's see. Yes, at Hartford Sumner, I had written, as of the day I wrote this, which was Tuesday the 4th, that there had been no more sightings of cockroaches. And then on Thursday, lo and behold, there were more sightings. So they came out and they did some more treatment, and they will continue monitoring, and our school nurse is monitoring the situation as well with particular students. Teacher Planning Time Committee, we had our 2nd meeting, and we have our 3rd meeting on the 13th. We're hoping for some more responses to the staff survey they put out. We also are looking to consider what other districts are doing. And I think we all agreed that it probably is going to take more than just one idea, or it's going to be a combination of things to help some of the situations. But we're still working on it, and then we have to bring back a report to the board and to the association. That's it.
All right, thank you. We have no administrative department reports and no resignations or retirements. Have some transfers and appointments on here. And did you just want to run through
Yep.
new hire?
Yes. We've hired Brianna Holmquist as a Title I EdTech 3 at, she'll be starting at Mountain Valley Elementary School. And we hired Kelsey Salatino LeBreton as a special ed EdTech 3 for the new school beginning January 16th, 2026. She's currently a long-term sub for us, and that will end when we move into the new building. So then she will we'll hire her as an EdTech 3. And she is studying to be a teacher. Yay.
All right, so we'll move to 8, old business. Act on the use of capital improvement reserve funds for the sewer project at HSES and the roofing project at Senior High School.
You want me to
Yeah, sure.
say anything about that? So we've talked about several different projects. We talked about the fencing, and we talked about the the radio tower project that the radio equipment that needs to be replaced on the tower that's on Black Mountain, as well as the roofing repairs here and the sewer project at Hartford Sumner. And we looked at each one and we looked at the funding that we have. And the thought was, and, you know, Leah and I have gone over this and with Devin too, is that definitely the sewer project and the roofing project are definitely fall under capital improvement, capital repairs. There's no question there. We could see where I suppose somebody could question the radio equipment that's on that tower. So Devin is trying to get a hold of the man that gave us the quote that does this stuff, and he gave us the $10,000 quote to see what are the chances that if we waited until July, because if we wait till July, we can put it in the budget. And if we waited to do it until July, what are the chances that it would carry us through July? And then with the fencing, we have that $7,000 back from FEMA. And remember, the reason we were looking at doing the fencing on that playground was because it was going to cost us $14,000 plus to move the equipment. It would take up more space on the current plot, and stuff could get, could get broken or might not be in as good a shape if it's moved. The fencing for $9,000 was less, and you left the playground equipment where it was. And yes, our insurance covers us using that. Because that was another question. So we felt that we could use the $7,000 that we get back, that we got from the FEMA money that was already expended in another year, as well as there was another, the money, because we've had 3 months of an open position of the assistant building grounds director, which would be way more than that. So between those two things. So anyways, that is why we're looking for these two things to come from the capital improvement reserve fund.
Do we have estimated amounts and amounts that we can't go over?
We have, we had an estimate on the roof for 21,000. And Devin, did they give you any estimate on the sewer project? Not yet. We just know we have to do it. And we were going to get several estimates from several folks on that.
Okay.
In other words, we're not just going to go with the first person.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Do we need an estimate on it before we approve using the fund?
No. No, I had asked Leah that. Leah knows that.
I mean, do we have enough money to cover? I mean, we have to kind of have an idea, right?
But
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we know what the timeline is on getting estimates on the septic tank?
yeah, come.
I don't have a timeline per se. I've reached out to 2 people so far, and I'm waiting for their estimates. And I've told them how urgent this is, and all they say is we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Okay. I guess my preference would be if it lines up with our next meeting that we just revisit it at that meeting. But if it's way before, I don't know what to tell you really. Our next meeting's in December, right?
I would,
Yes.
I would hope
December
I'd have
8th.
it before then. I mean, if I do, however you want me to communicate that, whether it's email to all of you or through Deb to you guys, whichever way you would like it.
Yeah, go ahead, Jennifer.
I would assume I'd have it way before our next meeting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at policy DJ that you included with this, and it says in each case that the board shall be informed of the superintendent's decision and the dollar amounts, the reasoning before entering into any contract. Right in section C, it's highlighted.
Yep.
So we do need
I
the
think this
details
this
before we
is
can-
to allow us to use that for these two projects.
Okay, and then we'll have to come back at next meeting and you'll have to give us the ones before we actually approve it. Is that, I mean, I just want to make sure, because I'd be okay to vote to use the fund, but I want to make sure that we know what, you know, what the quotes are and that we have enough money and we all look at that before we actually approve the money to be spent.
Understand the urgency of that project. That septic
I think
system
we're
goes
worried
down.
about the weather and the ground freezing, and that's the concern about that. I don't know about the roof, but
And I think we did discuss the urgency at our board meeting 2 weeks ago, and we were expecting some numbers to, or some competitive bidding to go to make that decision, was my understanding.
Yeah, go ahead, Kristen.
did the one person that was there, they gave you an amount?
He estimated around 20,000. I mean, he was ready to replace it and move forward with it. But once at your last board meeting, you all agreed that we had to go out and get different numbers.
So you
No.
have gone to two other people besides him,
One other person. besides
one
him
other
so far.
person besides him,
Yep.
and they haven't gotten back to you yet?
No.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Deb, when I had emailed you and talked to you about this, I think you had said you were reaching out to 4 other people. But maybe that's a miscommunication between the two of you, that it was four people, 4 businesses.
Right, we had talked about trying to find 4 people total.
Okay, so my question is really the difference between an RFP and the bidding process. And my understanding of a bidding process, you really put it out there for the public to really see. So anybody who might be in the excavation world could see it in the newspapers or all the different ways that you would be announcing a bidding process on Facebook. Like, it would really be a public thing. My understanding from what I'm reading in Policy DJ is that the RFP process is more where, Devin, you might call some specific businesses and hear back from them. But if we're not hearing back from these businesses, I think we need to go the route of putting this out there publicly the way the municipalities would, so that it gets full exposure, so that our taxpayers really are getting the best use of their money and not just taking the first dollar amount estimate or bid that comes our way. So that is my understanding of a proper bidding process, and, you know, really putting it out there to be advertised. So has there been any effort to put this out for good public advertisement?
No, I've reached out to D&D and the other person.
So we can do that. Leah and I talked about this being more of an under the emergency type situation.
Agreed.
But if we don't look at it that way, we certainly can put out an RFP and have a date for it to be in, and then we open bids and do that.
Allison?
So that was going to be my question is, we understand that this is an emergency and that there's a different protocol for emergencies. Can you explain, like, say a boiler blows in January? What is the process? Because obviously we're not waiting for a board meeting to replace that boiler or to fix that boiler, or say it's a magnificent expense. How would that play out?
Well, I can tell you that's happened. So the second year I was the director, the Rumford Elementary School boilers went down. And I think that was like right after the Christmas break. And we didn't have time to think what we're gonna do. We had specialty services come in, and luckily they had a replacement boiler right on hand and replaced it.
And we have a
and I
contract with
think-
them
yeah.
to maintain and repair our
Right.
HVAC.
And I think in that year, if I remember right, you know, the board at that time wasn't ecstatic that I went ahead and just did it. And I had to explain why. I mean, if we didn't replace that boiler and spend the emergency money, we wouldn't have opened school up after that Christmas break. It wouldn't have happened. So if you want to take the Hartford Sumner one, if the Band-Aid that we put on it to get the system up and running goes again, I mean, we go back to having Nickerson's pump out every other day until we get that tank in. So that, I mean, that's why I reached out to D&D. He was on site. He dropped what he was doing and came that day. And I reached out to another gentleman that's local, and he would do the same thing. After you guys said you wanted multiple votes, I knew I could count on those two people to jump.
Do we have an example of something? So you said that's under contract. That was under a contract. So like a boiler would be fixed by a contracted company. Do we have an example of something that doesn't fall under a contract, that if broken would be an emergency, or maybe it has happened?
Septic system.
Right. But like, we're trying to figure out now what the process is. Do we have like a precedent? Because it says in our policy, in the other policy, DK, that emergency expenditures of over 5,000 of not budgeted money shall be cleared with the board or finance committee chair as the need arises. So do we have an example of something that's happened that was an emergency that we did that for?
I'm trying to-
Well, I could pay.
Can you think of something, Leah?
Last year with the files that were being destroyed. So
Yeah.
Okay,
in a
Leah's
building
saying
and
yes.
grounds.
No, I
That's a good
emergencies every other
Dan, you
day.
maybe can speak to that one.
and we went to the BGT committee.
Yep.
With that, I believe. Oh, finance, sorry, not BGT, finance.
Doug, you
Committee.
had-
Who do we have as a contract to pump that septic system every year?
Nickerson's.
Are they
Nickerson.
certified to install new septic tanks?
So I talked to the gentleman who came to pump that out. He told me they don't do it with Nickerson's, they sub it out. So they have ties to people who will do that, certainly.
Well, in my opinion, it's an emergency. The person that gave you the bid, or that you talked to that pumped it out, they should be the ones to get the job. And it should be done yesterday.
Mhm.
That's my opinion. It needs to be done. It needs to be fixed. You can't have school when you don't have a bathroom.
Right.
And just like the roof here, that's an emergency too. You don't want mold, you don't want mildew. That's what happened to the Mexico school. Let's get on it, get it fixed, and quit dickering about where we're gonna get the money. It needs to be done. Let's get on it. My opinion.
Kristen, you had? Oh, go ahead, Peter, then Kristen.
This is D&D. They have a contract with us to do snow plowing and clearing of point. So there's someone we know and work with a lot. I'm with Doug over there. We need it done. We can spell all you want on this stuff here, but it isn't gonna get it done. I mean, you know?
Yep.
And I think that in this case, in an emergency, we go with who we know, we follow up with it. I says, Devin should have requested that if whoever he asks a bid from, give them a date. And if they didn't do it, they don't want it.
Well, one of the
Um,
things I had said, I had spoken to Devin about is if we're talking to people to give us amounts, they have to also tell us how soon they can do it. Because part of the whole decision needs to be, how soon can you do it? And that was why initially we were thinking we were going to go with D&D because he came right out and did the initial excavation that we needed to have done to get to the root of the problem, to even see what the problem was. Because it was a sinkhole. We weren't sure what we were going to find. And
Okay.
so.
Kristen?
I'm wondering if D&D spoke to you at all about needing to use a crane, and if there was a quote that came from the company that would provide the crane, and if there was any information specifying how much the tank would cost and what the other materials would be, as well as, you know, what the rental of a larger excavator might be. I mean, we kind of do need to see what is that, excuse me, what does that estimate really encompass? And does $20,000 really encompass all of those things? I think the board is just looking for some transparency in what the costs are. And I just want to follow our policy, and that's, thank you.
I mean, I can certainly give you those answers once I receive his quote.
Okay,
I don't want to say it without having it. So.
we've got 3 people that want to talk. So Allison was first.
So I completely agree that it needs to be done as soon as possible. I'm not comfortable authorizing the use of this, as our budget looks relatively small, fund, when we really have no idea what the price tag is going to be. And like he sort of estimated, you know, I'm assuming not on paper. We don't have any estimates on paper. So I'm really uncomfortable approving the use of that facility without having without having anything on paper. I think as soon as we have something, and if it's within, I mean, we could say tonight, if it's within a certain amount, we approve, I don't know, but
You can amend a motion to have it limit the amount.
do we have a motion?
Well, there's one down that you could do that.
Okay. So, and maybe I don't know, maybe we do that.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
So there are some other things on here that were budgeted and they're in that dollar range. I do agree with Peter and Doug that these are emergent. I agree with you. I want to do things properly, and I made that clear. I've made that clear from the start that I want to follow policies clearly. There are some other items down here that are in that $40,000 to $50,000 range that were budgeted that are not emergencies. Do any of them get bumped right now to a later date to free up this money?
Oh, this. You're referring to this, right?
Mountain Valley High School basketball floor, $50,000. Front parking lot, Hartford Sumner, $50,000.
That's already done.
Okay. Nizinskit bus garage parking lot.
That's done.
Okay, so those monies have been spent already. What I'm seeing here in regards to a $38 million budget, 321 is ridiculously low for your buildings and property, in my opinion. That we can talk about when we're working on the budget. But where else is there money? Is this the only place? Because this is an emergent situation. I agree with that. And what can be? How can we make the situation better moving forward?
Okay, so if you look at this, and this, what we're looking at is, I had Leah take from each building the areas that have to do with repairs and improvement. And instead of, because last time we were talking about different accounts and stuff. And so if you look at the far column of this, it's the balance. So out of all of those pieces, our balance is 136,480. And yes, the projects down below are the projects that are in the site improvement project lines. So just so everybody knows that.
Doug, did you still have a question? Okay. Allison?
I would like to make a motion that we use the capital improvement reserve funds for the roofing project at Buckfield Junior Senior High School, since that doesn't seem to be something on the tape, like we're kind of set on that. Can I make that motion?
You did. Okay. Motion made by Allison, seconded by Doug. You want to restate that?
I move that we use the capital improvement reserve fund for the roofing project at Buckfield Junior Senior High School.
Yeah, and Doug seconded that. Any discussion? Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing that I agree with you, Allison, I would like to see that number capped. We've been thrown out a number that's not on paper anywhere of $21,000. I would like to say not to exceed $24,000.
Are you making a motion to amend that?
Motion to amend to the Allison's motion, not to exceed $24,000.
Seconded by Doug. Any discussion on that? Okay, let's vote on the amended motion. Oh, did you want to say something, Dan?
If we do that, then if I'm a contractor, I'm gonna see that and I'm gonna say, well, $24,000, because I know that we're gonna pay up to that. So is that I don't know, is that a good idea or?
I understand that. I
If we
understand that concern.
don't, then it's open-ended.
Right.
Up to 150,000.
Well, okay, it's open-ended, but not to me, it's not open-ended. Yeah,
Okay.
they did. But the other thing I wanted to point out about the roof that I would want to look into is, I know people said about getting other estimates, and we have the 21,000 from IRC, which is who we contract to maintain our roofs. And what I don't know, and somebody else here may know this, but what I don't know is, it occurred to me, if we have a company that repairs our roof, is maintaining and keeping our roofs where they should be, and they don't do the job, we go with somebody else to do the job, do they still guarantee them and I guess they still do take care of them and stuff. So I was just concerned about going out and getting, you may know this,
Yeah,
Chad.
typically the company that does the work would warranty it. For a roof, you're probably going to get a year warranty at best, right?
Okay.
And so, but IRC is, that's who we use, and it makes sense to go with
Right,
that.
so that, I guess that what I was saying is, when we were talking before, somebody said, do we have other, bids and estimates? And I'm like, I don't think we thought of getting another one, because that's who we use. You know what I mean?
Doug?
Have we checked with the insurance company on the roof?
Did we? I think we did.
That sounds,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Has to be a
If
specific
a tree
event.
fell and hit it, they would cover it, but not
Yeah.
regular maintenance.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kristen.
I'm wondering if Dan might want to propose an amendment, or would the board be agreeable to an amendment to the amendment that up to 24,000 just be the 21,000 that was given verbally?
I mean, I don't know if that matters. I mean, we can if you want to, but it at least gives us room for another quote in there, but only $3,000 different. So doesn't matter to me either way.
Dan, if you want to propose the amendment, I'm good with that. If you don't, I'm good with that too.
We've got to do something besides talk it to death. So I guess I would like to see a motion to put it at 21,000. So I would like to make a motion to make that the top, whatever the bid was, 21,000. Yeah, okay. So I would like to make this the motion for 21,000, and that'll be the tops.
I can withdraw my motion.
And just to clarify, you said it's around 21, because if we say 21 and it's more than that, we really need to be sure here.
It'd be great to see these.
So Jen
Second
withdrew
Dan's
the
motion.
Jen withdrew her
Let's get the number first.
Yep.
But we're gonna get the number first, so he can. $21,300. Right. Good thing it's not.
This is the problem of talking too much. Anyways, like to cap this at 21,200,
300.
300. I'm sorry, 21,300.
And that was. Okay, and you withdrew your amended motion. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have an amended motion to not exceed 21,300 using the capital improvement reserve funds for the roof project here. All in favor? Okay. So that passes unanimously. Now, we still have the septic system to deal with. And I do want to say, I know we're in this spot that we have to do these things. I get you, Doug. I'll see you in a second. That we're in emergency situations on these, but I just want to make sure going forward that we're really following policy FB with our procedure, and really need to make sure that every building we're following that, and we have plans in place for all of these big systems to replace them, and not everything comes up as an emergency because we're in these situations where we're not able to get probably the best quote because it's an emergency. So going forward, I want to make sure that we're doing a much better job on that. And so I think for this, we really do need to do something about the septic. Not having a price on it, I don't know if that is really the point of this. The point of this vote really is to act to use the capital improvement reserve funds to cover it. So I think it's important that we get the septic taken care of. But I just want to hear everybody else's opinion. I mean, do we want to keep kicking this down the road and hope that it doesn't fail again? Or do we want to have a plan in place while the ground isn't frozen that we're working on getting it taken care of? So, yeah, go ahead, Ed.
Do we have any estimates? We don't have any bids, but
We have a verbal
We did.
estimate
Verbal
of
estimate.
around 20,000.
so around 20,000. So maybe we should make a motion,
Right on.
just like that last one, not to exceed $20,000 to repair the septic system.
Without board approval.
And then we could start on it, and if it came out more, come back.
Yes.
Is that what?
So Ed's motion was to use the capital improvement reserve funds for the sewer project at HSES not to exceed $20,000. If it does come back, need to come back to the board for approval. So I have a motion by Ed,
Second.
seconded by Doug. Discussion?
Yes, I would just refer us to policy DK, the last sentence, and this is what we did when the files needed to be approved. It says emergency expenditures of over $5,000 of non-budgeted money shall be cleared with the board or finance committee chair as the need arises. I think that some kind of clearance needs to happen if this is going to go beyond the $20,000 that has been stated. And I would also go to policy DJ under C, third paragraph in, where it says the superintendent, and we all have this in our packet. It was highlighted, I believe. The superintendent may forego the competitive bid or RFP process only when she determines that quality, expertise, time factors, or other important considerations outweigh the possible benefits of bidding or requesting proposals. In each such case, the board shall be informed of the superintendent's decisions and the reasons for it in advance of entering into a contract. So I believe that we need to understand this before we enter into a contract for policy DJ, and that anything, if it goes over the 20,000, then we're going to need to have this cleared by the board or by Dan, who is our finance committee chair.
Right, and
I
I think,
just want to put that safeguard in there.
yeah, the wording is that for 20,000, it would come. So.
Yep.
Doug, you have
Yes. I've worked several times in my lifetime putting in septic systems and tanks. And normally when you have a tank delivered, the company you bought the tank from has a crane on the truck to lower it in the ground. And usually the tank comes in 3 to 5 pots. So it's a lot easier to move around with not a huge excavator nor a crane. But the trucks come with a little, like you would see a logging truck with a little small crane picker, cherry picker, and you just lower it in the ground. And then the septic people do all the work. So it's an expenditure you should not be having to think about.
All right, thank you. So we've got a second and a motion and a second. Let's vote. All in favor? Oh, yeah. So it is use the capital improvement reserve fund for the sewer project at HSES not to exceed $20,000. If it does exceed that, the motion will come back to the board to review. All in favor? Looks unanimous. Thank you. All right, moving on to new business. Act to approve the superintendent's recommendation of Sydney Rowe as a middle school guidance counselor at MVCS. Motion by Allison, second by Peter.
Okay, so really excited about this because if you remember, we've been without a school counselor at the middle school in the Mountain Valley region since some point last year. So Sydney actually graduated from Mountain Valley High School, and she left the state for Wyoming. She became a master's level social work. She's worked in a variety of systems, human services, and she's currently, so she came back to Maine several years ago, and she is working at the Veterans, for Maine Veterans Center. And she is really excited about being able to do this in her hometown. And she came with rave reviews, and she has applied for her conditional school counselor certification and has everything else and has already signed up for the 2 courses they say she needs in Maine. And so we're excited about this being able to fill this position with somebody so skilled.
Thank you. All in favor? All right, that passes unanimously.
Oh.
Was she back on?
Oh,
Okay.
oh, she's on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So thank you. Congratulations. All right. So move to discussion on the school board survey results. Everybody should have those in their packet. How would you like to review this?
Well, the questions on here, we worked to design questions that kind of went along with some of the parts about our meetings, and just to kind of give everybody a voice on what we're doing. And so if you look at each one of them, the first one was, do you like it as 2 meetings a month, trying to stay within the 2 hours?
And that seemed like everybody,
Yep.
for the most part, wanted to keep it that way. And I will try and keep it under 2 hours. I can guarantee you that. So,
Okay.
So.
So that, yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to speak up.
yeah, did anybody
You
have
know.
any observations or questions?
I
Go
did
ahead.
note that we have a board policy that actually talks about our board meetings being over by 10 o'clock. And if we're going to go beyond that, we need to vote on that. So
Yes. Yep.
if we are wanting something other than that, we should probably kick that policy back to the committee to amend the language so we're not consistently here until 10 o'clock.
I don't want to be here past 10 ever. So Yes. All right, Dan.
Well, you guys did send me to a meeting with the attorney's office in Portland, and it's been said by lawyers and by also the handbook that they gave us. It was actually a book, like a textbook almost, that school board meetings should be 1.5 to 2 hours at the most. So 10 o'clock would be way beyond that. So we probably should try to revisit that.
Yep, we could revisit that policy at some point, but I have no intention of ever being here at that late at all, ever.
That's why you're in charge.
Ed, did you have something you wanted to say? Okay. Anybody else have any observations or questions about? I appreciate everybody's responses, and I will send out a quick little cheat sheet reference guide on Robert's rules for everybody, so you have it. So I think that'll be helpful for everybody. And I think, some of the things that we're talking about going into next year, our first meeting that we're planning on, just kind of having a review of process and procedure, I think will certainly help as well. But if anybody does have anything else they would like to, make any changes or want any questions about that, feel free to reach out afterwards. So I think that's good on that. But again, appreciate everybody's participation. I'm going to move to board member comments because we do have sessions to get to. So, and I would ask if we have board member comments, let's try and keep them pretty brief. Go ahead, Kristen.
I appreciate you updating us earlier on the Hartford Sumner, and I'm assuming Buckfield junior senior situation with the cockroaches. You had said that the Modern Pest Company had come in and did more treatment. And you also said something about a health inspector coming in. I'm wondering what the more treatment was and which health inspector where, because I know, again, we emailed back and forth about a Kathleen person who was like the state designates different regions, and this woman named Kathleen is District H, which would cover Hartford, Sumner, and Buckfield. I had asked you the question in the email and I didn't get a response, but did anybody speak with that woman, or is that who you're referring to? Can you just elaborate a little bit more on how you updated the board at the beginning of the meeting?
Okay. So I know that Modern Pest came in again today and did some more. Did they come here as well? Oh, okay. Okay, but they did come to Hartford Sumner and did do more treatment there. Did they didn't find any today, correct? No, they found none.
Yeah, and for us,
So,
that was
yeah.
the reason why, is because tomorrow there's no kids in the building, so they can kind of go room to room to room to room and not. It's just a little easier when the kids aren't in school. So they're going to come tomorrow to do it, the whole building.
So,
They set gel bait. They put a lot of gel bait around, and they put it in places where kids can't get at it, adults can't get at it, behind mop boards. Wherever they put it is where they like to hide. They're not out in plain sight, so they put it out of reach of any person or kid. So that takes a little while. They got to get behind mop boards. There's some under walls, and if they see cracks or places that they might go, they put it in there. It's a gel. It's safe to use. If it does, and they come grab. I guess the pests come and grab it, take it back to wherever, and it kills them all. No traps here, but the gel bait. So that's what they're doing. Nobody will see it. Nobody will know it's there. It's odorless.
So when I spoke about the health inspector, our school nurse was in contact with the town health inspector. In that town, yes. And I wasn't talking about having the health inspector come into the buildings. Health officer. Not the town of Sumner, the town of Hartford. I'm not talking about having them come to our buildings.
We're trying to limit things coming back.
Yes, we're trying to limit them being brought into our buildings. And I got the name of the person from the state.
Sorry, I'm trying to be discreet, but I'm wondering if someone has been in touch with the specific location from where this is perceived to be coming
Absolutely,
from.
every time.
So I had been speaking with the legislator who represents Sumner, Representative Mike Lance, and I asked him if he could find out what laws guide us. And I know that you had said the Title 20A, Section 6356, which is the immunization statute, and you felt that the communicable diseases didn't really relate here. There is the statute under, I think it's health and wellness. I'm going from my memory here, but it's Title 22 and it's Section 806, exclusion from school. And if there is a threatened outbreak of communicable disease or other public health threat, there's wording in there. And I'm wondering if this health person that you spoke with could give you any light on that. And I'm happy to hand this down to you to take a look at it.
Sure, that's something you can look into. Any more help that we can
Yeah,
have?
yes,
Yeah.
I pulled this up and I read this, and my interpretation of it is it would have to be a communicable disease.
Right.
And I certainly, actually, I can talk to the nurse at Hartford Sumner because we were talking before about, like, she didn't see this as a communicable disease as well, but we talked about she could consult with the DOE nurse, to see what they say. But I can honestly tell you that we've been told if it has to do with lice, bed bugs, cockroaches, whatever, we cannot keep children out of school.
Okay, go ahead.
I would just like a quick update if you have one, Deb. Since our last meeting, I believe that the last thing that the sheriff's department was going to do is post the position for SRO for here. And I'm wondering if you have an update on that.
I knew they were going to post it. I figured that was on the 21st, that they got permission to post it as, and they said they were posting it as, anticipated, thank you for that word, that they were going to post it as anticipated. I assume it could take up to a week to post it, so that would be October 28th. And so we would be we're coming up on a couple weeks. So I was thinking maybe by next week I'd say, hey, do you have anybody for us to interview?
Will you verify that that's been
Absolutely.
posted, please? And I don't think it needs to be anticipated. We voted for that to be.
Yes, there are reasons that they have it that way. And those need to be corrected.
I was told, I don't know why, but I was told that they were told by the commissioners, because it's their thing. They were told to post it anticipated. I don't know why.
All right, before we go into executive session, any more board member comments? Okay, go ahead, Allison.
I just want to follow up on the question of whether children need to be kept home from school. Deb, you said you had been told this, was it by our attorneys? That we can't keep a kid home for those particular, my point is.
No, we've been told by the Maine Department of Ed nurse, like the state nurse.
Okay. If we have a question about whether we're following the law, we need to be asking our attorneys is all my only point. So thank you.
Want to check into that? Yeah, It's board member comments. So, oh, Darcy,
Oh.
glad you got back on. Hopefully you got power back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good. Since I missed all the good stuff there, I apologize for the power issue on my end. I'm assuming you've already had the discussion regarding the school board survey results.
We did.
Is anything changing?
When I
Nothing
looked
is-
at most of the answers, most of it, the majority wanted things the same.
Right. And I remember it was mentioned, I believe by you, Deb, that the reason Thursday was on there as an option for the day of the meeting was because there was less chance for an amended agenda because there was more opportunity during the weekdays to get items on the agenda for the meetings. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that's
Well,
why.
I put all days on it. I wasn't just, I just gave people choices Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I didn't put Friday.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
it did look
reasons.
like the majority of the board
Yeah.
was happy with them on Mondays still. So,
okay.
But-
All right, that's all. Thank you.
all right, thanks, Darcy.
Mhm.
So we'll move to executive session. I move to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussion regarding the hiring of an assistant BG&T director for the district pursuant to MRS subsection 4056A. I need a second. All right. Motion made by me, seconded by Peter. All in favor?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We're moving to executive session. We'll give a few
In the
moments
library.
to clear everything. Actually, we're meeting in the library, then we'll come back here afterwards. Thank you. All right. We'll just wait for everybody to get back in and we'll get started here in just a minute or two.
Where's my?
Are we leaving?
Hmm?
Do you want to go to the library for the next one too? or-
Yeah.
You can stay if you want. Yeah, we're in live session right now.
That was.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got it written down. I move that we hire Brian Hooper as Assistant Building, Grounds, and Transportation Director at an annual starting salary of $73,000. Pursuant to MRS 4056A.
All right, seconded by Aaron. All in favor? It's unanimous. Congratulations. Thank you, Brian. Yes.
That we enter into executive session regarding a personnel matter pursuant to MRS 4056A.
I'll second that. All right, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. We're walking back to the library. Thanks again, Brian.